Hello, and thank you for joining us here on the Clarity Core. Today, we'll be exploring the topic new, how to start investing in stocks with zero experience. Most people think the stock market is a world reserved for geniuses, a world for people who grew up around money, people who understand charts, people who can predict the future. They see numbers flying across screens. They see green and red candles. They hear words like volatility, dividends, and market cycles. And they quietly tell themselves, this isn't for me. But the truth is, the stock market was not built for experts. It was built for participants. You don't need to be smart. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be special. You just need to be consistent. In this video, you'll learn how to start investing in stocks with absolutely zero experience, no background, no insider knowledge, no risky gambling. Just a simple, clear, realistic system that anyone can follow. By the end, you'll know how the stock market really works, how to open your first investing account, what beginners should actually buy, how much money you really need, and how to avoid the mistakes that destroy most new investors. This is not a fantasy. This is a framework. Let's begin. Most people think investing is about timing. They think, when should I buy? When should I sell? What if I lose everything? That's the wrong mindset. Real investing isn't about timing. It's about ownership. When you buy a stock, you are not guessing. You are not gambling. You are buying a small piece of a real business. It's the same as owning part of a store, part of a factory, part of a global company. If the business grows, your ownership becomes more valuable. If the business fails, your ownership loses value. That's it. That's the foundation. Everything else is noise. The first shift. Stop thinking like a consumer. Before you invest a single dollar, you must change the way you think. Most people are trained to be consumers. They use money to buy phones, clothes, cars, vacations, status. Wealthy people think differently. They use money to buy assets, things that produce more money. Stocks are assets. They don't just sit there. They grow. They pay dividends. They compound over time. This is where your transformation begins. You don't need more income first. You need a new identity. You stop thinking, what can I buy? And start thinking, what can I own? How the stock market actually works, without the confusion. Forget Wall Street movies. Forget screaming traders. Forget fast-talking experts. The stock market is simply a marketplace, a digital place where people buy and sell ownership in companies. That's it. There's no mystery. A company says, we want to raise money, so they sell pieces of their ownership. You buy some. Now you are part owner. You don't run the company. You don't go to work there. But financially, you are connected to its success. This is the system that allows ordinary people to own parts of massive global businesses. Opening your first investment account. You don't need permission. You don't need a license. You don't need a bank manager. You simply open a brokerage account. This is a platform that connects you to the stock market. Some beginner-friendly platforms include Fidelity Vanguard, Charles Schwab, Robinhood, Interactive Brokers. You do this online. You enter basic information. You connect your bank. You deposit money. This process usually takes less than 20 minutes. There is no barrier. The only thing that stops most people is fear. How much money you really need to start. This is where most people lie to themselves. They say, I'll start when I have more money. That day rarely comes. You don't need thousands of dollars. You don't need hundreds. You can start with $10, $25, $50, $100. Most brokers now allow fractional shares, which means you can buy small pieces of expensive stocks. You don't need to wait. You start investing to become wealthy, not the other way around. What every beginner should buy. First, this is where most beginners make the biggest mistake. They want excitement. They want fast wins. They chase trending stocks. They follow social media hype. They listen to friends. This is how beginners lose money. Instead, beginners should focus on boring investments. Boring is good. Boring is safe. Boring is profitable. The best place to start is with index funds. An index fund is a collection of hundreds of companies in one investment. You are not betting on one winner. You are betting on the entire economy. Popular types of index funds include S&P 500 index funds, total stock market funds, global market ETFs. This gives you instant diversification. It protects you from disasters. It reduces stress. It increases long-term survival. The power of dollar-cost averaging. You don't need to predict the market. You don't need perfect timing. You just need consistency. Dollar-cost averaging is the habit of investing the same amount of money regularly, regardless of market conditions, every week, every month. When prices are high, you buy fewer shares. When prices are low, you buy more shares. Over time, your average cost becomes very efficient. This strategy removes emotion from your decisions. It turns investing into a process, not a feeling. Why the news is your enemy. The media does not sell truth. The media sells fear. Market crashes, recession coming, global crisis. This makes you panic. When people panic, they sell. When they sell, they lose. Meanwhile, calm investors buy, and they win. The stock market has survived world wars, pandemics, financial crises, economic collapses, and it still recovered. Fear is normal. Panic is optional. Simple research for beginners. You do not need technical analysis. You do not need prediction models. You just need common sense. Ask yourself, does this company make real money? Do people actually use the product? Will this company likely exist in 10 years? That's enough. If the answer is yes, it's probably a reasonable long-term investment. Complexity is what destroys beginners. The emotional war of investing. This isn't just about money. It's about psychology. When the market rises, you feel smart. When it falls, you feel stupid. That's normal. Your job is not to feel. Your job is to follow your system. The most dangerous emotions, fear, greed, impatience. The most powerful emotions, discipline, patience, consistency. Bored investors make money. Emotional investors lose. How long it actually takes to build wealth. This is not fast. This is not exciting. This is not glamorous. Wealth is built quietly, in years, in decades, in small, invisible progress. Compounding works like this. At first, nothing seems to happen. Then slowly, progress appears. Then one day, it explodes. The people who win are the ones who stayed consistent when nothing seemed to work. Beginner mistakes that destroy wealth. Avoid these at all costs. Trying to trade every day, trying to predict crashes, putting all money into one stock, following social media experts, selling when things get scary. Your only job is not to be smart. Your only job is to survive. If you survive, you win. A simple beginner. Investment blueprint. Follow this system. Open a brokerage account. Choose a low-cost index fund. Invest a fixed amount every month. Ignore emotions. Repeat forever. This is enough. You don't need complexity. You don't need genius. You need structure. Why most people never start? Not because they can't, but because they hesitate. They wait. They overthink. They want perfect clarity. But clarity comes from action, not waiting. The stock market rewards those who begin early, not those who plan perfectly. The truth about risk. Risk is not investing. Risk is doing nothing. Risk is leaving money in cash while inflation eats it. Risk is waiting for someday. Investing is not dangerous. Stagnation is. Final perspective. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not incapable. You are early. You are curious. You are learning. That's enough. You don't need perfection. You need momentum. Final words. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need confidence. You just need to begin. Because the market doesn't reward intelligence. it rewards patience and consistency. And those two things, anyone can learn. If this video helped you understand how to start investing in stocks, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This is the Clarity Core, helping you build wealth from zero to